Well, I think when I think about small businesses in America, whether you're a gig worker or a true small business or micro small business with just a couple employees, I mean, there's no question the trends around labor are absolutely hitting them the most. And it works a couple different ways. If the job market is strong and wages are rising, that tends to mean fewer gig workers add a side hustle to their job. But if you have employees, then those same two trends can really impact your ability to hire people and to pay them a competitive wage. So I definitely see labor and wages being a trend that right now is probably working against small business owners. So I think we are probably in a time frame, and I won't try to predict how long that is, where there is very real economic disparity. And so some of those words like even defining what middle America means, or inflation, or unemployment, or wage growth. I mean, these are things that policymakers speak about. They're very important. They set the tone for the country, but there isn't one version of them. And so, using inflation as an example, when we celebrate, and thank goodness we can celebrate inflation really coming down, and we see that happening. When you're looking at the wallet of somebody in rural America who's trying to maybe get a new car or pay for groceries, that macro trend on inflation doesn't translate to them directly. And so because we serve so many people in so many local communities, we always like to keep that perspective that we pay attention to the macro global trends, but then really importantly, how does that translate down to the consumer in all of the communities around the country where we do business? So on this big topic of, remote work or return to the office, we made a decision just before Omicron hit. So going back to 2021, we had planned to have a strongly encouraged return to office policy 3 days a week. Omicron delayed that decision. And when we were in that delayed period, I just started talking to our associates, my executive team, and we just started asking, why are we returning to the office? What's the compelling reason to do it? And to be honest, we couldn't come up with one. We looked at our business performance. We looked at our associate engagement scores. We looked at how fast we're shipping new code and building products. And all those things were near all-time highs for the company. So we made a decision that we weren't going to bring everybody back. We would leave that decision to teams. I believe it's one of the best decisions we've ever made. And I know it's not for everybody, but it is working for us and has allowed us to attract talent in ways we otherwise would not have been able to. And, what I tell the team all the time is, I want to hire the best people I can. I want to empower you. I want to hold you accountable to outcomes. And I don't want to track how many hours you're on Teams or badging into a building. That kind of culture is not consistent with the connected culture that we're building. And so we don't see a reversal. In fact, in Kansas City, we are actively marketing to sublease half of our headquarters. And so we continue to take the steps to stay working the way that we're working. So when I took this job, 6.5 years ago, I joked with people, it was the first time in my career I was going to work somewhere that I was selling people something that was really important in their lives. That is the mission and purpose of the company. We literally say to provide help and inspire confidence in our clients and communities everywhere. And so, there are a lot of debates about the role of our company relative to the government. I understand those debates. But at the end of the day, when we're at our very best, we're not just doing your taxes. It is a relationship. Our tax professionals on average have been with us 11 years. They've seen clients through job changes, moves, marriage, divorce, children. And so I talk about your taxes as like your financial DNA. It is a very intimate, personal engagement with your tax professional, and we cherish those things. I don't try to pretend at all that we're not a human company. There is a chapter in business where you felt old-fashioned if you talked about your people. That's who we are. Now, we are embracing technology of all kinds. We've digitized the entire company. You can work with a tax professional without ever going to an office very easily. And AI is the next version of that. Listen, I'm worried about AI broadly in society in many ways, but as a business right now, we're leaning into it. We want to learn on our own terms. We have two models that we've deployed in tax season this year to try to understand how do consumers adopt the technology in a really high stakes financial transaction. And listen, I think we're at the very, very, very beginning, but I don't want to hide from it or run from it. I want us to embrace it and view it as a way to empower our people to get better and to get better faster, given the complexity of what they do.